Mario Kart, we all love it, but no game can be perfect, and Mario Kart is no exception. But have you ever wondered which tracks from each game is the best and worst? Well, you're not going to find anything positive here, you'll need to watch this video for that. But if you hate Mario Kart and love negativity, then you've come to the right place. So let's get into it, starting with...
Super Mario Kart is a hard one because none of its tracks really stand out all that much. They all just feel kinda generic, but one of these stands out amongst the rest as being what I would consider the worst track in the Mario Kart series, Vanilla Lake 2. This track just has zero redeeming qualities. I see a lot of people say that Bowser Castle 2 is worse than this one, but if you know how to avoid the dead end, then it's really not that terrible. Every other track on this list, we have at least one positive for, but this one, no. It's just terrible. The layout is abominable, and the god-awful ice physics and placement of the ice blocks makes it an absolute nightmare to navigate. It's not even visually nice, which is something we can say about most of these tracks. It just uses the same visuals as Vanilla Lake 1, and I always find that the ice is just too hard to tell apart from the snow, especially if you're playing on a SNES, then it's almost impossible to see certain obstacles until you're too close to dodge them. This track is just horrible.
Mario Kart 64 was pretty difficult to pick the worst track from. All of its tracks are either really good or just kind of there. The only one that I really enjoy the least is probably Sherbet Land. Wahoo, another ice level. The track is practically just Vanilla Lake 2 again. Ice with a big hole in the middle, except this time there's almost no real obstacles and the track is really wide, so there's barely any challenge. And it's nowhere near as bad as what came before, but it's still not a track that I'd call good.
Super Circuit is one of those games where there's quite a few tracks that are just okay at best and don't really compare to the great ones. The worst one though is probably Luigi Circuit. It's just a generic circuit track, and while the layout is more interesting than Peach Circuit, which was very close to being the worst one, the track is slightly worse because of the sharp turns compared with the slippery physics and just not being that fun whatsoever. I do quite like the visuals of this track though, and the Luigi blimp is kind of cool.
Double Dash is one of the most consistent Mario Kart games in terms of track quality. I don't actually hate any tracks from this game, but the one I like the least is Baby Park. It's not awful here. Double Dash's insane item roster makes it at least fun for a little bit. And I know that the simple layout is part of why this track is so beloved, but that doesn't make it good. Not to mention that the music here just gets on my nerves. Double Dash is such a good soundtrack, but this one is just funky, hellish clown music. But again, I don't hate this track, I just like it the least. Mario Kart DS. I don't dislike any tracks in this game, and our pick for the worst one here is one that I would personally just call mediocre at worst. Desert Hills. It's a really boring desert track. It really just has nothing going for it. But the fact that DS is such a solid and balanced game makes it a little less fun to race on. It's a weird point to make, and 99% of the time I think that it makes DS a more fun game. But in a case like this, it just makes a boring track even worse. I kinda like the visuals though. Mario Kart Wii is my favourite Mario Kart game, but it is such a funky game at times. It's got quite a few tracks here that I'm not such a big fan of, but my least favourite is probably Dry Dry Ruins. It's just nothing. It's good for a desert track, but that's not saying much. I just have nothing to say about this one. It's got a nice Yoshi statue. It's one of the ugliest Mario Kart tracks I've ever seen in my entire life. That's about it, really.
Mario Kart 7 is just that one Mario Kart game, you know? It's a good game, but it's just forgettable. Some of the series' best tracks come from this game, but like, who cares about Mario Kart 7? It's got some great courses and some okay ones, but Cheep Cheep Lagoon is probably the worst overall. It's the first Mario Kart track that uses the underwater gimmick, but other than that, it really has nothing going for it. In terms of visuals and audio, it's the most bland track ever. I mean really, if you're one of the 4 people who still thinks about this game, then really tell me, do you remember this track?
Mario Kart 8 is one of the most solid Mario Kart games track-wise, but did you know that Water Park exists? And that's gonna do it for stinky Mario Kart tracks. Let me know what you think about these ones and I won't read a single one of them. Also make sure to check out Mudkip because bad things will happen if you don't. See you next time.